manager for the South African Riding for the Disabled Association. She is B. Lukey. B, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Julia. Lovely to speak to you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Absolute pleasure. Now, for listeners who may not be familiar, can you tell us what SARDA is? That is the South African Riding for Disabled Association, and what the organization actually does.
Thank you. With pleasure. SARDA it was founded just over 50 years ago in South Africa, and it, as the name might indicate, it offers free therapeutic horse riding lessons to children and adults for living with intellectual and with physical disabilities.
So how does therapeutic horse riding help children, or even adults for that matter, with physical disabilities and perhaps even emotional issues or social issues?
With all of them. SARDA is based on the UK founded RDA principles, which means riding for the disabled, and that it was founded by two physiotherapists who discovered that therapy is accelerated if you have horses involved. And the basic principle of RDA is that if you sit on a walking horse, it engages the same muscles and also your cognitive, mental thoughts as when you are walking. But mainly we're talking about your trunk muscles. And that is how they discovered that. So the riding on the horse, the sitting on the horse is a kind of an accelerated physiotherapy. It started physically, but they just discovered very soon that it also has very, very, very positive effects on the person's psychological being as well, because it gives you confidence. It gives you strength also mentally, because you are doing something that wasn't thought possible. Basically, the horse is the supplement or is the tool in physiotherapy, and there is absolutely no clinical setting, both in the physiotherapist's office or in a OT's office, that can be replicated like sitting on the horse. It just starts with the movement of the horse. The movements, in one movement, the horse moves, allows the person on its back to move sideways and upwards, which cannot be replicated by any machine. And then with that, of course,
carry on.
Yes. So, of course, with all of that, you gain height, you gain speed, and most importantly, you gain control. If you can imagine a child or an adult sitting in a wheelchair, for instance, you constantly have to look upwards at people. You don't look down. You are pushed. You basically reliant on other people. When you sit on the horse, first of all, you have height. So there is that sensation and sense that is to be often conquered, because a lot of people are scared that they're suddenly sitting at that height. And also there's a certain amount of control that comes in. They can control the speed with the reins. They talk to the horse. They can say walk on and whoa and all that, and they can if they have muscle tone, they can actually kick the horse, gently to say walk on, or the horse will feel it. And that is the most important thing. The horses sense the vulnerability of the person on their back, and they also sense that the person needs them as well, in terms of physical aid, but also they sense there's somebody vulnerable on their back, and they're incredibly they sense it. They are perfect for this kind of therapy.
Yeah, I think about the horse whisperers as well. There's a lot of talk around people are able to communicate with horses and by so doing also offer some sort of healing. But that's a different type of therapy altogether. What types of disabilities or challenges do the riders you work with typically face, and how does SARDA support them?
What we do, to start off, we actually have a large amount of riders every week. We've got, to date, we've got 174 coming to ride with us. They registered, and they are aged from 7 to, I would say some of them are in their mid-30s, but we've had people in their 70s even to come to us. And so the disabilities are, we've got an incredible range of disabilities. With the physical disabilities most noted here at ours, but it changes from year to year, and it changes from the registered persons. It's very individual, but cerebral palsy is quite a dominant disability or condition that our riders live with. But you have all kinds of developmental. So they basically they develop mental issues. We also have a rising number of intellectual disabilities, people living on the autism spectrum. And so it is a range. We have some people that have they live with Down syndrome, but those are limited because the intake, or when we accept a rider, it is medically approved. So somebody can't just come to us and say, my child is living with a disability, can he come and ride? It has to go to their medical practitioner, be it a therapist or the doctor, who will then fill in the application form and taking into account the contraindications of that disability with riding, or what the contraindications would be if you ride a horse. Now, for instance, with Down syndrome, there is to take into consideration the gap between the first and the second vertebra, which is a common symptom. And obviously that would be a danger. It would be a health and safety signal. So there are these kind of contraindications to consider. Weight, of course, is important as well. That's because of the horses, to look after the horses. And also people with disabilities don't exercise much, so they are dead weight. So so it is quite a process to have somebody accept it. And then it is a continual process. But as I said, it is neurodevelopmental conditions that are affected.
So, B, does that then say if somebody brought their child to you at age 5, perhaps, with cerebral palsy, and they continuously ride with you on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, or however your program runs, have you seen, or is the expectation that by the time that person reaches their late teens or early adulthood, that they have overcome or have their condition improved markedly?
I would say their condition is improved markedly, quite discernibly. We sort of look, when we look at the children that come to ride us that come from the special needs schools, there is a general time period of 2 years, but again, it is highly individual. I mean, each person is different, and each condition, even if they have the same, are diagnosed with the same condition, it is completely different from person to person. And also they have sub-conditions, so other conditions that go with it that you don't see from the outside, obviously. So therefore, the medical practitioner's consent is so important. But yes, there is definitely a marked improvement in terms of mobility, and we can't make a person that couldn't walk before walk, but we can certainly make but the therapy can improves their mobility. And I have personally, for instance, seen somebody who was in a wheelchair but was able to walk with the help of a walker thereafter. So if you're completely paralyzed, there's nothing you can do. But what the RDA does is help those bits of the body and the parts of the body and also your brain function that works, and it balances out the sides that don't work. And this is the beauty of riding a horse, the balance. It not only improves the tone, the muscular tone, it improves the balance. So for instance, if you we have some children here who aren't only born with their condition, but they have it because of socioeconomic background. It be it from the health conditions of their parents, or if they're in a violent society, if they were involved in gang wars and they were caught in the crossfire, like you were shot at and then you lose the use of your arm or so, and or you lose your arm or your limb, then there are other factors and also internal conditions. But there is definitely, sitting on the horse, it rests the bit that is overwork, and it actually strengthens the side that is not working, and so it assists the body in balancing itself and improving mobility. So mobility is improved definitely. Psychologically, people get more confidence, and therefore they are also able to do more. They also overcome fear of height, of speed, fear of control, even because you are also cushioned in a way if you live with a disability, because you have people doing things for you. Here we encourage them to do what they can and go beyond. For instance, we don't use special saddles or special props on the horse to prop up or to lean on or to. They are riding on normal saddles to the best of they can. Our volunteer base, which is huge, are the other props next to the horse. The horse is the tool, and the volunteers are the assistants. So you have normally you have 3 volunteers per rider, which means that there is a horse leader. Her or his responsibility is the horse, and also should there be, God willing, it will never happen, an accident, then the horse leader is responsible for the safety and the removal of the horse from the scene. And then you have 2 sidewalkers whose responsibility is the rider. They're on either side of the horse. They make sure that the rider follows the instructions of the instructor, the RDA instructor, but also this safety. So if they don't listen, or they don't pull the rein, or they lose the rein, or there is no control, they are there to prevent the person from falling off, or the saddle sliding, or any accident. But also at the same time, they only do the necessary to prevent that, because the encouragement here is to use your body and your hands and your feet and your legs and your tummy and your balance and your ears and eyes to work together to have a ride.
Okay,
and automatically.
Okay, we have to wrap up now because I have my next interview lined up. But very quickly, please, we do know SARDA is non-profit. How is your work funded and supported, and how can people get involved to donate?
Okay, thank you. First of all, it helps that we have the consent and the full approval of the special needs schools who come with their therapists. So first of all the therapists, the horse, the equestrian people, and the medical persons, the neurodevelopmental specialists that are all involved in this, they are all volunteers. So it's not paid for. And they come and they dedicate their time to this. So that already brings down the costs. The fundraising we do ourselves. We have events, and we have donors, and we do applications for grants. So it's all coming from us, and we are are responsible for the raising of our own funds. How people can help us always with financial donations, that's always a need. There's always a need for that. But also we need volunteers. It's a very volunteer intense organization for those people who live in the area. But there is such a demand for this that we train people to become RDA instructors. We're the only place in Africa that does this training. So we are encouraging people at other equestrian centers to come and train with us, and we do so. We used to have various organizations, but some of them have closed due to COVID and all of that. But SARDA centers, I mean. But now there's one left in Durban. Gauteng has become independent. It's not a SARDA anymore, but we've trained all their therapists. So we need more horse riding instructors to also come and do the course to spread this fabulous work that we are doing. But
Absolutely
volunteers in Cape
fabulous.
Town, always welcome.
Okay, fabulous indeed is the word regarding the work you do. B. Lukey, Public Relations Manager for SARDA, keep up the great work, and thank you for making a difference in our society. God bless.
And thank you for being interested in us and help spread the news. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure. That's what we're about, volunteering and, well, humanitarian journalism. So that's what we're about. So you go well. Continue making a difference. God bless.
Thank you.